أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك السلام عليكم.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you so
Jazakumullah khairan, brother Jamil. May Almighty Allah increase you in knowledge and may He allow us to do this program excellently, successfully. Jazakumullah khairan, jaza. Please kindly mute your microphone if you are not talking. Sister Gani Rafia. Kindly mute your microphone. Okay, Jazakumullah khairan, jaza. Okay, so I welcome you all to this event, this webinar EVM. It is basically making a happy home, how to live together in the way of Allah with your spouse to make an everlasting happy family. So if you are excited to be here, let me see your emojis. Let me see your hands up in the chat box. Some people are already raising their hands. Really, I don't know why they are raising their hands so early. We've not had the lecture, we've not listened to the lecturer. So I don't know, do you have questions? You can type. You don't need to raise your hand. You can type in the chat box. Type what it is that you want to say in the chat box. Then I'm going to read it out. To maintain orderliness, I cannot unmute you all. This is going to become rowdy. So type what it is that you want to say in the chat box. I'm going to read it out. I'm waiting for your messages.
Okay, Sister Shukru. Thank you
I
so
can
much.
only see Aisha Olayinka and Frida was our last messages. Okay, brother Adebayo saying glad to be here.
Okay,
Okay,
in
let's
order
keep
not to waste our
it
time,
coming. Let's keep it coming.
Sister Shukru, let's just proceed to after the recitation of the Holy Quran given to us from Brother Abdulaziz. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward him abundantly. Let's quickly go to the introduction of dignitaries because our guest lecturer, the first guest lecturer, cannot wait to join us here. So he has been waiting. So I hope every one of us can hear me. If you can hear me, type it in the chat box that you can hear me, please. So, Sister Shukru, we go ahead with the introduction of dignitaries now. Let me know if you can hear me, everybody. Can anybody hear me? Let me know if you can hear me.
Muslima Jazakumullah khairan. Okay, I think since we have brothers and yes, we can hear you. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good, good.
Yes, we can hear you, Sister Muslima. We can hear you. So I was saying that since we have brothers and sisters on this call, we should make this balanced. We have a sister who is volunteering to read the Quran for us as well. So I think we should take her before we do the introduction of guests
All right, you
on
can go
this
ahead.
call. So
Okay.
Sister Aisha Olayinka, could you please unmute your microphone and read the Quran? Jazakumullah khairan. Is Sister Aisha Olayinka there?
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, we can hear you. Jazakumullah khairan.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنا أرسلنا نوحا إلى قومه أن أنذر قومك من قبل أن يأتيهم عذاب عليم قال يا قوم إني لكم نذير مبين أن اعبدوا الله واتقوه وأطيعون يغفر لكم من ذنوبكم ويؤخركم إلى أجل مسمى إن أجل الله إذا جاء لا يؤخر لو كنتم تعلمون قال رب إني دعوت قومي ليلا ونهارا فلم يزدهم دعائي إلا فرارا وإني كلما دعوتهم لتغفر لهم جعلوا أصابعهم في آذانهم جعلوا أصابعهم في آذانهم واستغشوا ثيابهم فأصروا إني دعوتهم جهارا ثم إني أعلنت لهم وأسررت لهم إسرارا فقلت استغفروا ربكم إنه كان غفارا صدق الله العظيم.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Jazakumullahu khairan jaza, Sister Aisha Olayinka. Allahumma irhamna bil Quran. Jazakumullahu khairan. That was a beautiful recitation from the Holy Quran. Thank you so much for that amazing recitation. We really appreciate it. And in any Islamic gathering, reading the Quran is so, so important. It is crucial for us to do the recitation of the Quran. And that is why we've had Sister Aisha and Brother Jami with Jazakumullahu khairan. Okay, so now we'll move to the introduction of dignitaries. To all participants raising their hands, you can comment in the chat box so I can read while you are raising your hand. You can type because now we cannot unmute everybody for orderliness on this call. So you can type what you want to say and then I'll read it out. Thank you so much. So now to the introduction of dignitaries. The first person I would identify and acknowledge here is coach and mentor Muhammad Murtala, who is popularly known as Afa Chemistry, the Prince of Closing. Thank you so much for being here, Sir Jazakumullahu khairan. And also, I would acknowledge the presence of the husband. Yes, I'll say the husband of the convener, who has been so supportive, and without him, I'm very sure that this event would not have been so successful. And that is no other person than Brother Asidik Bello Olalekon. Jazakumullah khairan for your efforts on this event. And also our guest speakers, our guest lecturer one and two, which is Ustaz Salman Saeed and Sister Mariam Isa. Jazakumullah khairan for accepting our invite and honoring us. Thank you so much. May Almighty Allah honor you as well. And finally, the convener of this program, which is Sister Muslima Adeola Adeyemi Bello, who is the brain behind today's program. But before I call her for our opening remarks, I would like to read a short citation because we need to know who is the host, who is the convener of today's program before we can move on to do anything. Okay, before I read the citation of the convener, I've not even introduced myself yet. All right, assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, brothers and sisters in the virtuous Muslima. My name is Adeyemi Shukra Ferami, and maybe fortunately or unfortunately, probably fortunately, I am the moderator of today's program and probably the co-convener of this event. And thank you so much for being here today. We really appreciate you. Jazakumullahu khairan jaza. All right, so let me read the profile of the convener before she takes the opening address. The convener of this webinar is no other person than Coach Adeyemi Muslima Adeola, the wife of Mr. Asidik Bello. She is a graduate of Estate Management and Valuation from the Polytechnic of Ibadan. She is an entrepreneur who has the passion to impact others in our own way. She is the creative director of MOA Clothing and Textile, an Adire production company where she started her coaching career as a core member since 2021, and she has trained hundreds of students in handmade Adire making. That is to tell you that if you're interested in Adire, you can always reach out to the convener. She is a real estate consultant and a fashion designer, and also a certified textile designer. She is happily married and presently living in Ibadan. Brothers and sisters in Islam, please make welcome the convener of today's program, Sister Muslima Adiola Adeyemi Bello. You can have your opening remarks, ma'am.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you, Sister Shukro. Feromi. Jazakumullah khairan. I really appreciate your efforts to co-convene this program. Without you and without the support of the dignitaries you mentioned that previously, will today's event won't have take place. And I my special thanks and my special thanks will go to Almighty Allah that we chose today's date and we are able to live today. And I thank every one of us here who has, in one way or the other, left whatever they are doing to attend this. I hope this event will much more beneficial to every one of us here. Either we are married or we are single, or we, in one way or the other, we all are going to benefit from this program, inshallah. Bikudratillah. Well, as she already said, my name is Remain Adeyemi Muslim Adeola. I'm a wife to Mr. Sodiq Bello. My introduction will not be much, but I would like you to know the reason why this program is taking place today. The thanks Thankful to the two lecturers that we have. They are the one that actually, by the way of Allah, they submit themselves to us because they didn't collect any kobo from us. The likes of Ustaz Salman Sahid is a well-known person. Whoever that is here and is a
How would like change your location?
is a ex an ex student or lives within Lagos State, Yaba College of Education. We know this person I'm about to say. Is no other than Ustaz Salman Said. He has been very supportive. He will be the first lecturer for this webinar. And the second person is Mariam Isa. She is also a selfless person when it comes to entrepreneurship and impacting other fellow Muslims. She is undoubtedly no one, is no other person than this lady I'm talking about. I know a lot of us here will have known her in one way or the other. So the reason why this webinar is not taking place is the call that saying what is going on in our environment, in our surroundings, aside even from the fact that what we read online, a lot of marriages are going into crash, especially Islam marriage. There is nothing like a provision for. I hope you can all hear me. I hope you can all hear me. Please, let's all communicate in the chat box so that I will know you are following. So I hope you can all hear me. So the call for this, it just came to my mind that there is nothing like maybe counseling before anybody can say he or she wants to get married in Islam. You know, we have it in the Western world, in the Western education, but in Islam, it's something we should embrace because there's a lot of marriages that have crashed, and if there is a provision for this kind of opportunity for a marriage counseling before and after you got married, maybe the such marriage will have saved themselves from getting divorced, from getting crashed. I hope you all can understand. That is why I said, okay, in my own quarter, in my own capacity, in my own reach, let me try and organize something like this so that fellow Muslim and Muslima will actually benefit from it. And that is why today's event is taking place. I will now hope every one of us understand. And I want us all to get our opening here and to also appreciate our guest lecturers. I will now introduce the first guest lecturer now. He will join us on our midst. But before I introduce him, I would like us to go through his profile. I hope you can all hear me. I would like us to go through his profile as well before he joined us here. He is no other than Ustaz Salman Saheed. He is the Principal Assistant Registrar, Yaba College of Technology. He is also the Deputy Chief Imam of Yaba College of Technology. He is a man of deen and a father to many because he has trained a lot of people while in the school, I mean Yaba College of Technology. He's a figurely father and a so now I will be
Wow, I cannot hear anything anymore.
So now I will be okay. Yes, I'm here. I'm back now. So
Your
now,
network is breaking, Sam.
okay, that was why I said I want
I do not know if you
conversation
would like to
on
change
the
your
chat
location.
so that I will know everybody can hear me. All right. I hope I just finished reading the profile of our first guest lecturer. I hope you all hear that. So let's appreciate him by he will now join us now. I'm already on a call with him. Let's appreciate him as he joined us to give us his lecture. And his topic remains the topic he will be treating for us to today is how to live happily in the way of Allah with your spouse to make an everlasting happy family. So that will be the topic, the first guest lecturer we will be treating. I believe every one of us here wants to make a happy family, right? Yes or yes? I believe every one of us present here today wants to make a happy family. Yes or yes? Please let me see your response on the chat box. I want to know if you are all following me. Do we have anybody here that does not want to make a happy family? Because I by now I should see a flood of yes on the chat box. But it's like that we have some people that does not want to make a happy family here. What's happening? Yes, mashallah. Inshallah bi kudratillah. Allah will grant us for the singles and they're about to wed, I pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant every one of us a right person, a right partner for us to make the happy family. But then it has a lot of dedication, it has a lot of responsibility. It's not just by mouth, and that is why this webinar is taking place today. So I want you, once I inform you that the lecturer rather has joined us, I want you to please appreciate him and welcome him to our midst.
Hello, Hamad. Hello, we can hear you anymore.
Okay, as you are joining, please kindly mute yourself. Kindly mute yourself. We are expecting the and he's joining us now. Our guest lecturer will join us now. Please let us appreciate him for coming, for honoring our invitation and for coming into our midst. Let us appreciate him.
No, my
So, sir, you can have the floor, sir.
Mm.
You are welcome, sir. Let us welcome the guest lecturer, please. Kindly hold on. Our guest lecturer is having issues with his network. Kindly introduce Sister Mariam to the.
Okay, so thank you so much for help so many young and old Muslims in different lucrative skills through social media platforms. She has been consistent in doing this since 2020 during the breakdown of COVID-19 pandemic. To cap it all, Isa Mariam Abike is passionate in empowering youth, especially the Muslims. She is a striving Muslima and she's currently serving in Ekpe, Lagos. Brothers and sisters in Islam, Sister Mariam Isa will be talking to us on meeting the right spouse, identifying the red flags in a relationship. You have the floor, Sister Mariam. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I think today today is just a very big day because being here, I myself, I was doubting this morning if I would be here. In the first place, MTN network was not good in my area. I wanted to recharge. I had no cash with me. My all my banks were not accessible. I have three banks, three accounts. All of them they were not accessible. So I had to call my brother to recharge for me. Even at that, network was not okay. But I think few minutes to the class, the Almighty Allah solved all the solutions for me. So I think there is a purpose for that, and I pray the Almighty Allah makes today's session a beneficial one for each and every one of us. So I will start. إن الحمد لله نعمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده أشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. Now all praise and adoration belong to the Almighty Allah, the Lord of the worlds. We seek his blessings upon the noblest of mankind, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his household, his companions, and those who follow his path till the day of resurrection. So the topic before me says meeting the right spouse, identifying the red flags. The topic is a very big one. But before I start, I would like to ask us a question. Who are you? You that you want to meet the right spouse, who are you yourself? What do you have? What values do you have in yourself that makes you to know that you yourself you are a right spouse to someone? And even when you meet the right spouse, you will be the right person for he or she. It's a question we should always ask ourselves. I could remember when I was in year two and someone told me, hey, you are an Ijabite, you're supposed to have been married by now. I thought it within myself that, oh no, I didn't have enough load to carry to my husband's house. It's not the load of maybe the materials I needed, but I'm thinking the values that should be embedded in someone that will make someone see that wow, this one my wife is actually worthy of marrying. Most of the time we think it's only the loads we carry to the husband's house. No, it is not that. But what do we have? What values can you give? What can you bring to the table? What can you contribute beyond your beauty? We are in a competitive world. We have so many Muslims out there. What will make a man insist that no, this particular sister is the sister I want? What will make a man think that no, if this sister is not marrying me, I will not go. I will stay at her door. It goes beyond the beauty, right? It goes beyond beauty. So I want us to ask ourselves, who am I? What do I have? What values do I have in myself that will make a man to chase me, even if I do any so that will make a man to chase me, even if I am the shakara type of person that no, I always select, but at least those persons they will still want to stay with me. That no, this is the particular person I want. So there are values that must be embedded in someone that will make a man to do that. And part of the values, I list them out. I have the number one on the religious values. How knowledgeable are you about the deen? To what extent can you defend Islam? Are you good in the Quranic recitation? Do you have the knowledge of the meanings of the Arabic? Can you communicate? Can you communicate effectively with Arabic? These are the values that I think Muslim brothers will look for in a sister. And I'm talking about this vice versa. A brother, a sister also will be looking at that in a brother. I'm sorry, give me 2 minutes. So I'm so sorry. I have to attend to my dad. Okay. So, like I was saying, how knowledgeable are you about the deen? This is actually a quality that will make you stand out. If there are five sisters out there looking for a man, looking for a responsible man, let me be specific. And the man has listed his preferences that okay, I need a sister that will be able to handle my own when I am away, that will have the Islamic knowledge. So you check your load. Do you have that? I'm so sorry if I've been addressing the females, but I think it is just vice versa.
Just let me know when you
We
get
should
it.
be able
Okay, no
to
problem.
handle. We should be able to
Okay.
handle my own when I'm away. We should be able to. Hello, please. That person should put up the audio. Sister Tina should please put up the
Kindly
audio.
mute everybody. Kindly mute Sister Zainab. Yes, thank you. Jazakumullah khairan.
Okay.
You can continue, Sister Mariam.
Okay. So we should be able to handle the own when I am away. This is a value that most responsible Muslim men will look for in a man, in a woman rather. Also, your educational value. I mean the Western education this time around. If you are an SSC holder, are you that good? Is your SSC of standard? Can you take the children homeschool? Can you handle them when the father is not around? Will you be able to handle them in their basic English and mathematics? This is also a value a man will look for in a prospective wife. Also, I said the industrious value. What handiwork do you have? What unique thing can you make? Can you sew a cloth that when a man sees it, oh wow, who made this? A woman. Oh, I would love to marry this person. You understand? Can you make bigs? There are several skills out there. What can you bring to the table? What will make you unique? What will make you stand out? You see these qualities, if you have these qualities embedded in you, someone living in Kogi will be calling another brother in Lagos that's Assalamu alaikum. Please, do you have a sister that has this? And you will be able to select out of the numerous choices that will be available for you. But if you don't have these qualities in you, you just take anyone that comes your way. So before you plan of meeting the right spouse, ask yourself, what am I bringing to the table? Who am I? Do I have all it takes to be a wife? So this question, when you are able to answer this question, then I think we can move to the next step. And the next question is that, why are you getting married? Why are you getting married? You should ask yourself. Most of the time, being someone who gives listening air to married sisters, let me say married sisters, and sometimes also married men as well. I've been able to counsel married men and also married sisters, even though I, as a person, I'm still single, I'm not married, but it has been my field for over 10 years when I was still very, very young. I don't know, it has been a quality in me that people will come to me, tell me their problems in marriage, and I'll prefer solutions to them, being the law. So you should ask yourself, and as time goes on, I discovered people don't actually know the reason why they are in a particular relationship or marriage. Before you go into your marriage, before you go into a relationship, ask yourself, why am I going into this relationship? It is that reason that you give yourself that will keep you going even when it is tough, because there is no perfect marriage. There is no perfect marriage. The almighty That institution marriage was created by the almighty Allah to test us. And he said in the glorious Quran, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وجعلنا بعضكم لبعض فتنة تصبرون. We have made part of you a problem for another, a test for another. Atasbirun. Will you be patient? It is to test us that do we really have the patience we claim? Because when we haven't related with another person, we can't confirm if we are actually patient or not. It is also we relate to people around us, our attitude to them when they go wrong with us. It is that attitude that will make us know that actually I am actually patient, or if I am not patient. So if you haven't related with anyone, if you haven't stayed under a room with a woman or a man, you cannot say if you're actually patient or not. You cannot say until you begin your life to live with a man or a woman in a room. It is until then you will know if you're actually the patient one or not. I do tell people, in actual people see me and feel like, this is just. I tell them, you cannot tell until I have started living in a room with a man. And then that patience that the Almighty Allah wants to test, I'm able to pass it, then we know that actually I am patient. You understand? So when you go into a relationship, you should ask yourself, why am I going into this relationship? What is the purpose of this relationship? Because marriage itself is an act of ibadah. Most of the time when I listen to married men and married women, I discovered most of we Muslims, we do not see marriage as ibadah. We do not see it as an act of worship. And that is the reason we are doing it wrong. For example, we know the salat is an act of ibadah that the Almighty Allah will question us about. And when the call to the prayer is made, we all run to the masjid, perform the ablution, and observe our salat. But we don't do that. Most people don't do that in marriages. They don't do it. You see people, they just behave anyhow to their partner, thinking that they can just relate anyhow. They've forgotten that the Almighty Allah would ask us how we relate with our spouses. I do tell people, beyond your 5 daily salawats, beyond your sum, your fasting in the month of Ramadan, the Almighty Allah will question you how you relate with each and every one you came across while you were on earth. And also your husband or your wife, he will question you as regards these persons, or your wives if you are a man. So you should know, you should define the reason you are going into the relationship. And the first reason you should go into any relationship with someone is that the person is a Muslim. There is no point in you marrying someone of another religion. There is no how you'll be able to handle such person in the relationship. in that marriage, it is not possible. So you define your times. There are so many reasons you might be going into a relationship apart from the person being religious. It could be that, oh, this person, she is blessed with so much wisdom, and with the kind of man I am, with the kind of business I'm doing, I think she'll be able to assist me whenever I have problem, whenever I go back home, she'll be able to provide solution with her wisdom. It could be that the person is just so diligent in her doings, and you want your children to also inherit that diligence. It could be that that person is modest, and you want your children to inherit the modesty from her. There are so many reasons people go into relationship beyond beauty. I have seen people running after sisters that they want to marry them not because of their beauty. Beauty is competition in this world we have. If you see someone today now, oh wow, this person. If you see another person, this one is beautiful. So there are so many beautiful people out there. So beyond that beauty, what value do you have in you that will make a man or a woman insist that it is you I want to marry? Because it is those value after the beauty will fade after some years. And it is those values embedded in you that person will keep on, staying with. It is that value they will live with, that man or woman will live with. But when you don't have any value, do you think they will be able to stay? Even if they enter into that relationship by mistake, they will try to go out of it. I have heard people saying it several times that I made a mistake marrying sister, and they're actually planning to go out of that relationship. It is not because that sister is not beautiful, but because she has no value embedded in her. And most of the time, I have two sisters. Please, for Allah's sake, have values, define you. Ask yourself who I am. When you ask me, Mom, Isa, who are you? What makes you unique? What makes you stand out amongst your peers? I'll be able to identify at least 10 unique things about me that I know actually these are my areas that I am so good at, and these are the areas that have made people want to be friends with me. You understand? So you should be able to define the purpose you are actually going into a relationship, because marriage is part of thing, as I have said it. And the intention must be that we are looking for a righteous spouse together with whom we can build Islamic home. So what are you looking for in a man? There are so many, or you are looking for in a woman. There are so many reasons we marry, like I have said. Abu Hurairah, may Allah be pleased with him, he related from the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam that the Prophet said men marry women for four reasons. One, because of her rank. Two, her beauty. Three, her deen. And no, the last was a deen. One, a money rather. Two, a rank. Three, a beauty. And the last is the deen. And it is vice versa. Just like men want to marry women who have beauty, who comes from a good lineage, who has the deen, who is righteous, who has money and everything. The women are also looking for such values in women. It is vice versa. And according to the scholars of the deen, they said we should look for the four. But we should put it in a scale of preference, and that of the deen should be number one, should be the number one, should be the first target. But after that number one, that okay, this person is a Muslim or this person is a Muslima, he actually observe the deen as he is supposed to observe it. Then you can just decide, okay, the next thing for me is beauty. When a man is not beautiful, I can't marry him. Or when a woman is not beautiful, I can't marry her. Also, if she's not from a good lineage, I cannot marry her. Or if he's not from it is also important. Lineage is also very important. It's a very, in fact, to me, it's one of those things I consider. Who are they in their family? What is their position? It's not that they have money. Beyond money, who are they? Because I know the children I am giving birth to will also inherit whatever qualities they have in their lineage. And that is another reason why some ulama said we should not marry from a very far distance, so that we'll be able to look into these things that okay, who are they in their family? But when you marry someone who maybe you live in Lagos and that person lives in Ilorin, and you don't have someone to help you make findings about that person, somehow sometimes it may not really be okay, and sometimes it used to be okay, but the scholars, the ulama, they want us to marry someone who is close to us or who we can make findings about. You understand? So the lineage for me is very, very also important in getting the righteous spouse.
Ṣé ènìyàn sọ fún mi pé mo ti rà lóyún sí WhatsApp?
Another factor in getting the righteous spouse is that you should also involve your parents and guardian. We young, we youth today, we are fond of that attitude that we don't want to get our parents or our guidance involved in the process. And the reason is not far-fetched. We understand that some parents they can force things into our throats. They want their opinion to to cover our feelings. And most of the time it's not like that. It's supposed to be something that we all deliberate on. Marriage should be an issue we all deliberate on. But I won't tell you lies. If you actually want to get a righteous spouse, you should get your parents involved, or your guardian, or an imam you trust, a trusted imam in your environment, or a trusted mentor who is also upon the deen of Islam. Anybody that you get involved, that will be your wali on this issue of marriage. The person must be someone that is a Muslim and also you trust that person. But in getting a righteous spouse, you must get an elderly person involved in that process. If not, you are still naive as regards what are the qualities you should look into when looking for a spouse. You are new in the business, but this set of persons that I've mentioned, they actually have the experience. They've been in your shoe once. They know actually if all you want is actually the things you're supposed to look for, or these things you can still bend them. Oh, this one is not necessary, this one is. So you need someone that will guide you in the process. But the reason why we always keep this issue far from our parents, our guidance is that we found out that most of the time they don't give our opinion considerations. They don't give our emotions consideration. They don't give our feelings consideration. They only think that no, once they point no. But if you happen to have someone who has listening ear, it may not be your parents as well. If you discover that these parents they might not give you listening, you could just get a mentor that will mentor you, that will put you through in the journey, because it's a lifetime journey and it's also a ibadah that you must do religiously. You must do it religiously. You must do it having it at the back of your mind that, oh, the Almighty Allah will reward me for whatever thing, even if it is just an atom size I put forward in this relationship. And at that, you don't want to do it wrong, right? So you must get someone who is experienced, informed in the process, and also making findings about the person you want to marry. Like I said earlier, that the lineage of the person is so important. But most of the time, maybe perhaps the Almighty Allah Qadari that the person is not someone living around you. If you want to get someone that will make you, that will tell you about the person, that person is either must be the neighbor of that person. The person that will tell you about him or her must have lived with that person. One. And if the person has not lived with that person, the person must have journeyed with that person. They must have embarked in journey together with that person. Two, they must have had dealings as regards money with that person. And the fourth, okay, these are the three. If they had no any of these three, if the person that wants to tell you that okay, this person is good, the person that wants to recommend the sister or the brother to you has never related to the person as regards money, and has never lived with the person, and has never journeyed with the person, I am telling you, my sister, my brother, the person might not be able to recommend the person for you. It might not be the good, the right person to recommend the person for you, because I can actually know the true color of a person when we live with them. One, when we transact with them with money, then you know the true color of a person. And when you journey with them, you will know their true color. These three qualities, these three conditions, if they are not met by the person that wants to recommend the person to you, my sister, don't go into that relationship with that person. Tell him or her to tell you another person who knows him, either by living with him, either by joining with him, or as transacted with, because you actually know the true color of the person through these three. Through these three. And also the power of dua. When seeking a spouse, we should not underestimate the power of istikhara, the power of dua. In fact, I could remember my parents have been telling me to always put the issue of my marriage in prayer when I was, maybe I cannot even say, maybe around the 6 or 7. Then I didn't understand what they meant. They already tell Allah that you want a good husband, tell him this, that, and I will say it on my salat, especially on the sujud. I will say it after salat. I will shout, tell the Almighty, even though I was too naive then. But it is very, very important. I'm telling you, you should always do istikhara. In fact, some ulama said we should always do istikhara till the day of our nikah, because you don't know the person you want to get married to. So, okay, someone must have stood for that person, that, oh, this person is a good person, this person, I know him, we went to the same school, we did it. But yet, it is the Almighty Allah who knows him best. So the power of istikhara, constant prayer, tajud it. Tell them while you are working, tell the Almighty Allah, this is the kind of man I want. Be specific. Mention the list the conditions, the qualities you want categorically. I want him to be this. I want him to be a righteous man who is very religious, who is very this, who is patient, who is good looking, who is handsome, who is beautiful. List every condition you want. Tell the Almighty Allah. It is when you don't ask him that he will not give you. When you ask him, he will surely give you, because he's Lord of abundance. He actually has it with him. But when you don't ask for it, he will not give you. But when you ask for it, he will surely what? He will surely give you. So the power of istikhara is very, very important. If you have gotten the person you want to marry, or if you are still looking for the person, please always do your istikhara repeatedly till the day of your nikah. In fact, I've met someone who said even while she is still in the marriage, she still makes the istikhara. I said no. When once I've gotten into the marriage, the next thing for me to do is always to tell the Almighty Allah that He should put baraka in my decision, because at that I've made the decision, and I do not pray to refuse the decision again. I do not pray to leave the marriage, right? So I'll just pray to the Almighty Allah to put baraka in. But before the marriage, before the solemnization, you should always ask the Almighty Allah if the person is actually the right person. And I'm telling you, if he or she is not the right person, if it's just a day to the nikah, the Almighty Allah will terminate it for you. It is tested and trusted. I'm telling you, the power of istikhara can never be. In fact, I've experienced it so many times. If it is a day to the nikah, the Almighty Allah will terminate it for you. And you just be wondering, wow, and I thought this person is the best person for me. And if he or she is actually the person, you just see everything going on smooth. And when we say everything will go on smooth, we do not mean that in the marriage you will not have your challenges. There is no perfect marriage. Even the Prophet Sallallahu and Aisha had misunderstanding in their marriage, but because they had the purpose why they are into the marriage, she kept on going. And that is the reason I said before you go into any relationship, you should define the reason you are going into that relationship. And it is that reason, even when he or she does anything wrong, it is that reason that will keep you in that marriage. And if that reason is no longer there in that marriage, you want to leave, right? But if your relationship is not defined, at any slightest thing, you want to leave the marriage. You want to leave the marriage. And when another thing, I think the last thing to discuss here, they said I should identify the red flags. Wow, to me, red flag is a relative term. What is red flag in your own relationship might not be red flag in my own relationship. It is a very relative term. And another thing I see to red flag to me doesn't mean that you should not go into that relationship. It is only telling you that you should seek counsel, you should seek help from experienced persons. If actually that thing you've noticed is bearable, is normal, or it is not. Red flags to me, it is actually for you to recheck, to seek counsel, to seek help from experienced persons. Most of the time when you see red flags, you just say, I want to opt out of the relationship. No, it is not like that. When you see a red flag in a relationship, you try to seek help from experienced persons. If actually the red flag is just the reality of life, at times it's just reality of life. For example, now a man whom you had just little argument with, and he was just so angry, and then you think, okay, the next thing for you is to opt out of the relationship. It might not be so. It might not be so. It could be that you just want to know whom he is and how you can always maintain your relationship with him. Oh, this is actually the no-go area of this man, or this is actually the no-go area of the woman. It doesn't mean that when you see a man and he's angry, and that means you should not go into a relationship. And at times, there are different anger. At times, the type of anger he has might be pointing to you that no, don't go into the relationship with this person. Okay, someone whom you are not married with yet, and has been sending you to your parents, calling your parents irresponsible. You know, such person, such anger is just an anger that is telling you that you should not go into relationship with that person. But there are different angers, right? So I am telling you, when you see a red flag in a relationship, you should always seek counsel, seek help. It doesn't matter. Red flags are not always no go area. No, it's just for you to seek help, to seek counsel. If actually it is something you can manage or something you should not go for at all. But why going into before you conclude that, okay, I am actually marrying this person, I am actually not marrying this person, you should also discuss your core values with the person. Okay, what is your level of Islamic knowledge? Do you plan to further more? Do you plan to add discuss this? Your future career, education. Okay, you actually have a first degree now. Are you planning to have another degree? Do you plan to have your academic to the professorial level? You know, you should discuss all these things. Polygyny interest is also something you should discuss while going in relationship with someone. Ask that man if he's actually going into polygyny or he's not. Even though if there is a man that tells you that he will not go into polygyny, my sister, it's a lie. Men are polygamous in nature. You understand? So even if a man has said that, oh, don't worry, I'm not just telling, just know at the back of your mind that this man is telling me lies. It might not happen that the Almighty allowed me not to make it possible for him. It happens like that. But men are what? Men are polygamous in nature. They are just polygamous in nature. But you should discuss that. Also, child upgrading. You should discuss that. Okay, how many child do you think we can will be able to handle in the family? How do you think we will handle them? Are they going for the after fees? Are they going for this memorization? At what age do you plan that they must have been through with their all these things you should discuss them. These are the core values you should discuss while in your period of engagements. It is not for you to always send love text message of who love help. My sister, these are the core values that you will need when you are in the marriage. But when you do not discuss this now, you will not be able to achieve them even when you get, because you have to plan ahead. You have to plan. In fact, the name of your children, you should plan them ahead by now. You should write them down in a jotter. When they are not written down now, you may not be able to achieve whatever you want to achieve at that time. So you plan ahead of your relationship, of your marriage. So discuss the core values with that man. And also, while discussing, I learned this from one Umu, and I believe what she said. She said marriage is a transaction, right? There is no argument on that. Marriage is a transaction. And in the Quran, it has been recommended to us that any transaction will be having, we should note them down. We should write them down. It should be documented. So whatever core values you've had with that person, you've discussed, document them down. Okay, as a female, I want to have my I want to have my second degree, and I also want to have my third degree, and the man has also agreed. Write it down. Let him sign underneath it. You should also sign. In fact, there should be a witness because it is a transaction. It should be a written agreement, not just matter of chat or talk on phone. There should be a written agreement that okay, he has agreed to this, she has agreed to that. So whatever core values, whatever thing you actually hold tight, that no, I can't do away with this thing even in that marriage. Tell the man now, let him know that these are my core values. I actually plan to have my third degree, and I won't like to bend that opinion. You should, when he has agreed, you should make it a written document and let him sign underneath it. You should also sign underneath it. Let the third party sign underneath it because it is a transaction. And I think at this, I will welcome any question that will come in. And
Wow, mashallah, Sister Mariam. Jazakumullah khairan jaza. Thank you so much
um,
for your time. You even overused. I was thinking you will make it maybe 30 to 35 minutes, but we are even close to 50 minutes as of now. Thank you so much. Everybody, please
most welcome.
kindly let us type in the chat box. Let us type Jazakumullah khairan for our sister. She has really done so much on with the topic. She has just done justice to that topic. Our topic is meeting the right spouse. She told us who are you that you want to meet the right spouse, you want to have a right spouse. Who are you in the first place? What skill and what's your own uniqueness? I want to try as much as possible to recap all what she has said. And she also said to us that what do you want intend to why do you want to get married? Why do you want to go into marriage? And she also made mention of the fact that we should all see marriage as an act of worship, as an act of ibadah. That nowadays people generally don't see marriage like that. People generally see marriage as something they should just do. But it's not like that. It should be an act of worship. Just like the way we have our salat. We should see marriage as an act of worship to Allah as well. And with that, Allah will guide us. She also made mention of the fact that what you that you are looking for a right spouse, whether you are a female or you are a male, what value do you have? What's your own uniqueness? What do you have? What can you list that you have that is incomparable with others? Am I on the right spot, Sister Mariam? Am I talking
Yes, ma. Yes, ma. Yeah,
I'm trying
yes,
to
ma.
recap.
I should even add another thing.
Okay,
I should even add another thing.
okay.
If you don't have the right values in you, when you meet your spec, you will never be spec
You
or
exactly,
a spec. That
exactly.
is just
So
it.
you have to
If you are
dictate
not
your own
prepared,
spouse
eh,
before you can know.
you will never be the spec of the spec.
Exactly. So you have to dictate your own values before you can identify your partner's values. Before you can identify, oh, this person is actually the right spec that I'm looking for in a man or in a woman. I hope every one of us is getting this thing. So if you have any questions, kindly put it down in the comment section as I do the recap of what she has just taken us through. So kindly be putting down our question, please, and kindly let us appreciate our lecturer, Miss Mariam Issa. Let us appreciate her. Jazakumullah khairan. Thank you so much for honoring our invite and for delivering of this lecture. You did so good. In fact, you did justice to it. Thank you so much. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless all that concerns you and answer all your silent du'as. Inshallah. That's my Thank you so much. We have our first lecturer in our midst. He is back with us now. We also have him in our midst. So I will want every one of us to ask our questions so that Sister Mariam Isa can attend to the questions. Okay, I think I'm seeing a question here, Sister Mariam.
Okay, the first question says, Sister Fridaus Adeola says, do you think all necessary discussion should be done before one introduces a potential spouse to one's parents? Okay, it is that if your parents are not involved, if they are not the persons you trust with your marriage issue, then you must have discussed that with your spouse. Maybe your okay, this the person asking is a female. You must have discussed every necessary point with him and with the guide of your mentor. Perhaps maybe your parents are not Muslims, or you just think they don't have the listening ear to understand your feelings and emotions, and at that you did not carry them along in the early stage until you actually know that okay, I have seen all the qualities I want. But your mentor or an imam or a guardian or an elderly person must be involved in the process. There's no how, especially for females. In Islam, we are not meant to make decisions ourselves. We should just know that we have been created to be protected and guided
Naam, Sister Miriam. Thank you so much for that.
by some persons. In fact, at a point in our life when there are no other guardians, so you should know that you can never make a decision, especially females, as regards your marriage. In fact, as regards your lifestyle, without getting a mentor or a guardian involved. I, as a person, I am Mariam Isa. Whatever decision I want to make in life, if my parents will not be aware of it, my brothers will be aware of it. And I do not even see any reason why my parents will not be aware of it because we are all Muslims in our family. We understand the tenets of Islam. We are all practicing Muslims. So why should they not be aware? But let's just see it as maybe your parents do not give you listeners or they are not Muslims. You should have someone you trust in this deen of ours, in this Islam, that, oh, this person I must take the issue to, and the person will be the person to have guided you that, okay, the brother you brought here is on the right path. Okay, at that you cannot move the issue to your parents. But aside from that, don't conclude a marriage with someone if there is no one guiding you in the process. It is okay. The next question says, how does one realize his or her core values? You are you. I can never determine you. I, as a person, I know my core values. I know what I will never, what I do not pray. Don't let me say what I will never, what I do not pray to bend while looking for a man. You understand? I know there are qualities I look into in a man that I do not pray to bend them. I would rather pray to the Almighty Allah to give me someone that has that quality. So you are you. But I said one, even if you don't have any cover, you should know that the person you want to get married to must be a Muslim. And aside from that, you should also have core values. You should also have, is it the beauty of the person? Is it the intelligence of the person? Is it that the person is very industrious? Is it that you should just know, you must have, you should question yourself. And I think the person can just private message me, then I can always, follow you up and guide you if that is the case. The sister Amira Shuaib, you can message me privately on my WhatsApp.
Now, Sister Mariam, Jazakumullah khairan, ma. So
Okay, the next person says,
in order
how
to keep
please, how can one know if a potential spouse is not a stingy type or some tricks one can use? Okay, that you want to know if a potential spouse is not a stingy type. But one thing you should know that when you are not married to a man, he doesn't have the rights, or you don't have the right to collect his money. Do you know that? It is not obligatory on him to spend on you when you are not married to him. So determine if he is stingy or not. It will fall under one of the points I've mentioned earlier, that you make findings of that through someone who must have lived with him or someone who has journeyed with him in the past. You understand? So you can always know that through these persons. Maybe the person has transacted with him with money. So you can know that through another person, not you directly. You may not know that because someone, if I am a man, as well, I might not. And I understand the thing. I might not be spending on you fully like you want, because at that point, at that engagement time, you are still not my responsibility until you get under me, that you become my responsibility. So you can always know that through a third party that you trust. And in case where I'm staying in a place where there are no potential Muslim men I want to marry, and as a Muslim, we shouldn't advertise ourselves. How do I go? Hell, okay, you are not staying in a place, then you should present yourself to a trusted imam around you. There should be an imam around you, right? And then you present yourself to such person that, okay, assalamu alaikum, salam barakatuh. For now, I'm thinking I have gotten to a stage of getting married. You should not be shy of that. It is deen. This marriage issue, it's deen. So you should feel free to discuss it with any trusted person you know. So, and it's also the responsibility of any imam around you to give you or to recommend you to any responsible spouse. So you should always present yourself to someone who is responsible around you. So an imam that is responsible around you. And at that, I think they will address it because it is their responsibility. If the parents can't do it, the number one person that is supposed to get you a spouse as a female is your father. It is the
now, Sister
responsibility of your
Mariam,
father
Sister
to get you
Mariam,
a spouse.
can you hear me, Sister Mariam?
Ma'am? Yes, ma'am.
Okay, ma. The elder lecturer will actually leave us in less than an hour time. He will
Okay.
leave us. So please, I want us to
Okay.
take the question and
Can
answer
you just give can you
so that we
just
can.
drop my you can drop my link with them or anything so they will
Yeah,
be
sure,
able to
sure.
to
And they
answer.
can even ask the
Yes.
question, the further question on the group, so that we will have access to
Okay.
it and everybody
Okay.
will also
Okay.
hear
Okay.
from
Okay.
you.
Okay.
They can
Okay.
drop it on the group.
Okay. Okay. All
Thank
right.
you so much.
Because I see this topic is a topic we will never exhaust.
Exactly, exactly. If we
Okay.
start to
Yes, ma'am.
talk and talk and talk, we'll just not finish it. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
I will appreciate the questions on the group now. You're
Sure,
welcome.
sure. I will tell everybody to drop it on the group so we
Okay.
can
Yes,
have
ma'am.
the question and answer on the group.
Yeah.
So for now, let's have
Yes, ma'am.
the first lecturer. Let's have his speech now, please. Thank you so much, Majazakum.
I mean one to ma'am. I'm honored. Thank you.
So, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, sir. Welcome to our midst, sir. You can have the floor, sir.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving us this opportunity to meet here today. We'll be seeking to shower His blessing on the noblest of our mankind, Muhammad, his households, companions, progenies, and those who follow his path till the day of judgment. My brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa
Walaikum
alaikum
salam wa
salam wa
rahmatullahi wa
rahmatullahi wa
barakatuh.
barakatuh, sir.
The focus of my lecture is to discuss or to advise in a way how can marriage be sustained. And I want to believe that the reason for this lecture may be as a result of the common thing in our environment now. Because today, among the younger ones, we talk about divorce, divorce, divorce. Uh, the most painful part of it is that if you look at the issue of divorce of a thing, it is very common among us who claim to be doing the sunnah of the Prophet. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. We claim we know more than our fathers. We claim we are better virtually in everything than our predecessors. But if you look at the rate of divorce, it is painful. So as a result of this, my lecture will be in three folds. One, I want to highlight one or two things the husband and the wife should understand whenever we talk about marriage. Although this lecture, in a way, is not of fake, because I'm not here to discuss divorce, but we want to look at the Islamic social aspects and also the ethical aspect of Islam and also the psychological aspect of Islam concerning marriage. The first thing I think we need to understand is what is marriage? Today we have different IVs, and when you ask brothers or sisters, where are you going to? We are going to Nikkah. We are going to Nikkah. Even when you ask a brother or a sister who intends to do the Nikkah, they can't define, they cannot define what we really mean by that Nikkah. And the fact is that if you know what you are about to do, automatically that will guide you whenever you are dealing with your partner. According to Islamic scholars, whenever you mention the word Nikah, three things matter. You must observe three things. That those three things must be present. The first one is Nikah.
I can't hear you over here, sir.
Can you hear me?
Okay, cool. I can hear you now, sir. Thank you, sir. I can hear
We
you.
can't
No.
hear you very well, sir.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi. I can hear you now, sir.
Alaikum salam wa barakatuh.
So you said the first point of out of it is
Can
marriage.
I carry along? Can I move
Yes,
forward?
that's the first thing. First, last thing I heard. First point.
Are you with me? And just to understand clearly, it is expected to be permanent, but it may eventually be temporary, and that will determine
we can't hear you clearly.
Assalamu alaikum.
Sir, the network from your hand is waving.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How is it now? Is it audible?
It's audible now.
Is it okay? Now, my first point is that Nikkah is a contract. That contract will legalize, will make it lawful for both of you to enjoy each other. That's the first point we must understand. That's why in Islam, a sister or a brother, that there is nothing of such between the two of them. They must know their limit whenever they are dating.
Sir, I can't hear you clearly. The network was bad.
What do you suggest, my sister?
Kindly, Assalamu alaikum salam, everybody, kindly listen up, please. It's the network, you still get it. Because I can hear him at my own hand here. Thank you.
Okay. Then the second thing that is very important in the definition of marriage is the marriage will explain to both of them their rights and their duties. Many sisters, many brothers today, they go into marriage without learning about the rights and the duties. And some sisters are not ready to do their own duties but expecting rights. Same thing applicable to the brothers. So if these two things are not achieved, automatically that institution will be shaken. So that's the first area I want us to start this discussion. Understand the meaning of Nikkah. If you understand the meaning of Nikkah, that will be guiding you in whatever you want to do while in that institution. Am I talking?
Yes, sir. You said we need to understand the meaning of the term. Whoever that is putting on the microphone, please kindly mute it so we can enjoy him. Please, Sister Ola Dikufo Rashidat, mute yourself now, please.
Now, I want us to take these four things. These four things summarize how we should see Nikkah, how we should view Nikkah as Muslims. One, النكاح مسؤولية. Nikah is responsibility. If you are not ready to discharge your own responsibility, you may not last long in that institution. Anybody who intends to go for marriage must understand the fact that you are going there to discharge yourself.
Salam alaikum salam barakatuh, sir. We can't hear you again, sir.
That's network challenge. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. We can hear you now, sir.
So I should continue now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, what was the last point you were able to get?
Nikah is responsibility.
Thank you, my sister. Then the second one is Nikah is give and take. Give and take in the sense that both of them, that is the brother and the sister, They are coming from different backgrounds. So you should understand the fact that we are not expecting both of you to be on the same page on some things. You, as the husband, you should be able or you should be ready to, you know, leave something for your wife and the wife as well. A good example is this. Let's take food. For example, some brothers, they don't like some food. Eating such food, they don't like it. Whereas the sister or the wife now, loves eating such. So in that manner, they should understand how to manage each other on that one. In Yoruba land, they will tell you, "Ọbẹ̀ tí baálé ilé kì í sè, ọbẹ̀ tí baálé ilé kì í jẹ, ìyálé ilé kì í sè." Then if you are the type that you like listen to early morning news and your wife is disturbing, instead of you to stay in the parlor where you have your wife and you want to listen to that early morning news, so it's better you leave that place for your wife. Though it's not what you really like, you are used to it. But for the fact that marriage is give and take, you have to do that to allow peace to reign. You don't be the type that you are always right in whatever decision you are taking. Then the third one, marriage is
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi, sir.
Sister Muslima, I would suggest you make a voice note to you on WhatsApp and then you forward it to the groups because we cannot really hear him. So I think you should just make a voice note on WhatsApp and then people can listen to it on the group because we can't hear him at all.
Wow.
okay.
Well, at my end, I could hear him, but immediately he said the third point. That was when the network started waving. So I don't know. What do you suggest?
At some other hand, we can't hear anything at all. It's just waving.
Wow, that's it.
Yes, network is just
Exactly. So since
interesting.
a lot of people cannot hear him, I think we should just opt to WhatsApp. You can make a
Yeah.
voice note and then we'll send it to them.
All right, we don't have enough
Okay,
time.
okay, okay.
Sir. Can we have you on WhatsApp, sir?
Yes.
All right, thank you very much, sir.
So, okay, you can make a voice note on WhatsApp to you, then you send it to the group, and then we can conclude the program here.
Okay, what about the question and answer section?
All right, so sisters and brothers in Islam, Jazakumullahu khairan jaza. We really appreciate your presence here. I believe we've learned something, and from what Sister Mariam Isa said, and also Ustaz Saeed, please kindly send your questions for them on the group so that they will all be answered. Thank you so much for your time. We believe that you've learned a lot as regard building your family, as regard choosing the right spouse. I do not know if Sister Muslima has something to say.
Okay, now thank you so much, Sister Ashuka.
Okay.
Thank you so much for your efforts. Thank you for everyone for attending this webinar. I guess we should all go to the WhatsApp platform now to meet the guest lecturer so that we can hear from him as well because we the network here is kind of bad. So I think we should go there to finish the class. So the recording will be made available to everyone once it's ready for this section. So thank you so much. I hope Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make everyone have a happy home. But let's try as much as possible to wait to also do our own quota, to also do our own part in making a happy home. It's a responsibility, as he has said. He said marriage, Nikkah is a responsibility. Don't just go into Nikkah, into marriage without learning the the basic thing without knowing the right and the responsibilities. I hope we can all understand what he just said about his own topic. So thank you all for attending. Let's all come back to the WhatsApp platform to enjoy him. Thank you so much. Jazakumullah khairan.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I want to appreciate the sisters that put up this together. Please, I don't know. At times when lectures are being given and we ask questions, it assists the lecturers to touch some areas in which they could not touch within the period of time that they have for the lecture. I know we are having network problems. May Allah accept the little that we are doing. I don't know if the guest lecturer can give us a WhatsApp voice note after we are done with this webinar so that those that will be able to hear him can assist with asking some questions that will assist some
Now,
persons
Sister Balikis
to
Ghanaian, that's
clarify
exactly
whatever
what we
thoughts
have
they
just
have.
said. The lecturer has already dropped a voice note. Let's all come to the WhatsApp platform. You are repeating what we have just said now. What you are saying is exactly what we said earlier. Let all come to the WhatsApp platform. He has already dropped a voice note for us. Let us go there to listen to the voice note and ask our questions. I hope you all understand. Thank you so much. I want to stop this meeting now. Let's all come to the WhatsApp platform. Thank you. Jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.